today we have 4 students who has sent their assignment. Rest of the people, for reasons best known to them, have not. So today's class would be of 1 hour only, because we do not want you to waste your time unnecessarily, and this 1 hour will compensate in a different sense of the term. So let's begin with Prangya Parimita Pradhan.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Short note on metaphysical painting. Metaphysical painting is originated with De Chirico and flourished between 1911 to 1920 in the works of Italian artists. The term introduced by French poet Guillermo in 1913 to describe Chirico's painting. Metaphysical painting conveys a sense of mystery, enigmatic and dreamlike imagery with unreal lighting, strange symbolic and impossible linear perspective. Most of the De Chirico painting shows a desolate city square or claustrophobic interior with bright colors and theatrical lighting with dark and threatening shadows. Example, mystery and melancholy of street, the disquieting muses, and the nostalgia of the infinite. Other metaphysical painters are Giorgio Morandi, De Piscis, Marino Sironi. Many surrealist painters are like Rene-Magritte Dali, influenced by the theme, dreamlike visuals of metaphysical painting. Futurist artist Carlo Cara and Alberto De Chirico with Giorgio De Chirico formulated principles of metaphysical painting. It came to an end due to the conflict between Chirico and Cara. The sir, वो नीचे वाला composition, जी sir. The disquieting muses.
Disquiet. This is disquieting. The pronunciation is disquieting muses.
Disquieting muses.
Muses.
Disquieting muses. Sir, actually मुझे composition और content में मुझे थोड़ा confuse हुआ कि
मैं बताता हूँ आपको प्रज्ञा क्या होता है कि एक सब्जेक्ट के अंदर आप किस चीज का पेंटिंग बना रहे हैं, ठीक है। अब वहां पे आपको मैनिक्विन दिखाई दे रही है, मान लीजिए उनकी शक्लें आपको उसको देख के ऐसा नहीं लगता कि मैनिक्विन जो विंडोज के अंदर होते हैं उनका फेस नहीं होता है। एक कहने के लिए एक बॉडी होता है, आदमी का होगा या विमेन का होगा। सो समटाइम इफ यू सी द वर्क ऑफ Chirico, so you will see mannequins without hands sometime, you know, 2 mannequins sitting and talking, and their belly is full of lot of elements from the past and some pillars and sometimes bust or some certain kind of element would be there. तो एक हो गया आपका कंटेंट। एक कंपोजिशन में क्या है कि आपका पर्सपेक्टिव है कि नहीं है। पर्सपेक्टिव है तो फ्लैट पर्सपेक्टिव है या जेन्युइन पर्सपेक्टिव है या रियलिस्टिक पर्सपेक्टिव है, लार्जर देन लाइफ इमेजेस है कि नहीं। जैसे एक बहुत अच्छा शब्द तुमने इस्तेमाल किया जो तुम्हें समझ नहीं आया होगा, वो है कि अनरियलिस्टिक लाइटिंग। ये अनरियलिस्टिक लाइटिंग क्या होता है? आपने ऊपर एक शब्द इस्तेमाल किया है, सेकंड लाइन क्या? अनरियल लाइटिंग।
जी सर।
अनरियल लाइटिंग में क्या होता है, मान लीजिए अगर आप सन में खड़े होंगे मॉर्निंग के अंदर या आफ्टरनून में, तो आपका एक शेडो बनेगा जो बड़ा रियलिस्टिक होगा। अगर आपकी हाइट 6 फीट की है तो आपका शेडो हो सकता है 7 फीट हो जाए, 8 फीट हो जाए या 4 फीट हो जाए, जैसे जैसे सबका पोजीशन चेंज होगा। बट अगर आप ध्यान से इसकी पेंटिंग्स को अगर आप स्टडी करेंगे तो आपको पता लगेगा कि बहुत लंबी लंबी शैडो बनी हुई है वहां पर।
जी सर।
बहुत लंबी शैडोज है, और उसका जो तुमने शब्द इस्तेमाल किया है बिना समझे उसको, उसका नाम है थ्रेटनिंग शैडोज। थ्रेटनिंग शैडो क्या होती है? जो रियल नहीं है और जो वर्चुअल है कि इतनी लंबी चौड़ी शैडो तो कभी बनती नहीं है। कि कभी देखा आपने लंबी चौड़ी शैडो जो उसके पेंटिंग्स में आपको दिखाई देंगी? तो ये जो है मिस्टीरियस एलिमेंट्स हैं जिसको लेके वो काम करता है आदमी। तो ये जो शब्द आपने, कंटेंट का मतलब है आपका सब्जेक्ट क्या है, उसमें क्या क्या होगा, और कंपोजिशन का मतलब यह है कि उसका फ्रेमिंग कैसे होगा, 1/3 होगा, 2/3 होगा, वर्टिकल होगा, हॉरिजॉन्टल होगा, कैसे उसको प्लेस किया जाएगा, उसमें लाइटिंग कैसी होगी, फ्लैट होगी या नहीं होगी। एक है कंटेंट, एक है कंटेनर। एक कोल्ड ड्रिंक है आपका और एक उसकी बॉटल है। बॉटल जो है उसकी पैकेजिंग है, और जो आप पी रहे हैं कोल्ड ड्रिंक वो कंटेंट। तो सब्जेक्ट क्या है आपका, वो कंटेंट है, और कंपोजिशन के अंदर आपका प्लेसमेंट ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट, कंपोजिशन, पर्सपेक्टिव आ गया, लाइटिंग आ गई, कलर स्कीम आ गया. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज द कलर स्कीम. समझे मेरी बात? जब आप पेंटिंग थोड़ा सा स्टडी करना चालू करेंगे तो आपको कलर स्कीम का फील आएगा पूरा का पूरा. तो ये कंटेंट और कंपोजिशन दो शब्द हमने रखे हैं जिसके अंडर में आपको डिस्कस करना होता है कोई भी पेंटिंग, मोटा मोटा हिसाब.
हाँ, कॉम्पोजिशन का मतलब वो जो नरेश समझा रहा है वो विजुअल एलिमेंट्स क्या क्या होते हैं. हाँ, क्योंकि you when if you are a painter you are using certain visual elements. What are the visual elements that you're working with? Lines, you are working with forms, you are working with mass. Okay, you are working with perspective, foreground, midground, background. तुम कहाँ पे क्या place कर रहे हो, कैसे place कर रहे हो. You are working with lighting, you are playing with light and shadow. These are the elements of composition. These are the visual elements. ठीक है ना. सो इसी को बोला जा रहा है तुम्हारा कॉम्पोजिशन. और कंटेंट इज द सब्जेक्ट, सिंपल. ठीक है. एंड अभी ये कंटेंट, हाँ, कंटेंट और ये जो अपना कॉम्पोजिशन है, ओके, इसका सिंक्रोनिसिटी क्या है या नहीं है, या क्या है, इन दोनों का रिलेशनशिप क्या है, या क्या कुछ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, ये भी डिस्कस करना जरूरी है. लेकिन ठीक है, तुमने एफर्ट लगाया है तो हम लोग विल गो थ्रू इट. जस्ट रोल डाउन. या
और इसमें जो आपने एक शब्द इस्तेमाल किया है, मेलनकली ऑफ स्ट्रीट, ये क्या मतलब है इसका? मिस्ट्री एंड मेलनकली ऑफ स्ट्रीट. आपको इसकी पेंटिंग के अंदर जब भी आप देखेंगे, एफटीआई में हम लोग थोड़ा एक जोकिंगली बोलते थे एंटोनियोनी काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रीट. क्या मतलब होता है एंटोनियोनी काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रीट? इसका मतलब ये होता है कि उसकी स्ट्रीट में लोग ही नहीं दिखते हैं. उसकी स्ट्रीट में लोग नहीं दिखते हैं. अभी जो पेंडेमिक हुआ तो तुम्हें बाहर पेंडेमिक के टाइम में अगर फोटो लोगे तो वो सारा का सारा आपको मेलनकली स्ट्रीट जो है महसूस होगी. मतलब without any people, without any
people, a sense of sadness, melancholy मतलब a sense of sadness, a sense of something you're missing, एक melancholic feeling आया. मैं जब वहां पे गया तो मेरे मन में एक melancholy आया, या melancholic feeling आया, हल्का सा दुख, हल्का सा sadness which cannot be defined, sense of melancholy.
और मिस्ट्री क्यों है ये? मिस्ट्री इसलिए कि ऐसा तो होता नहीं. ऐसा कहीं होता है कि स्ट्रीट हो और कोई आदमी ना हो, बट ऐसा हुआ. आपने देखा अभी के पेंडेमिक के टाइम में कोई आदमी बाहर नहीं था. और अगर आप थोड़ा सा पुराना जाएं, पिछला 25-30 साल पहले, तो जब महाभारत और रामायण आती थी तब स्ट्रीट पे कोई नहीं होता. सो हाउ ए स्ट्रीट कैन बिकम मेलनकली, ही विजुअलाइज दैट इन अ पेंटिंग. समझे मेरी बात? आगे बढ़िए.
Disquieting muses go down, Naresh. Yeah.
Okay.
Composition.
Yes, sir. In the painting, there are buildings in the background, of which right one fully established. There are two muses in the foreground and one muse at the background. There are objects placed near muses.
अच्छा, अभी परिणीता एक सेकंड. अभी तुम हमें बोलो, ये म्यूज या म्यूजेस प्लूरल, इसका मतलब क्या होता है, बोलो.
सर एक्चुअली इसको मैंने गूगल किया कि वो ग्रीक माइथोलॉजी उनसे के वाइज वो कुछ गॉड टाइप या जॉस टाइप वो होते हैं.
देखो,
लेकिन
हाँ, लेकिन क्या बोलो.
लेकिन म्यूज का एक मतलब होता है कि इंस्पिरेशन या मॉडल टाइप कुछ होता है.
एग्जैक्टली. बेसिकली आर्टिस्ट लोगों का क्या है, आर्टिस्ट या कलाकार जो भी होते हैं, समटाइम्स a lot of artists they have muses. Muses मतलब basically a character. For a male artist it's a woman, woman who inspires the artist towards creation. You are my muse. आप आजू बाजू रहते हैं तो मुझे पिक्चर ड्रॉ करना आसानी हो जाता है, मैं बहुत इंस्पायर्ड फील करता हूँ. कभी कभी यू ड्रॉ द म्यूज ऑल्सो. सो म्यूजेस आर सोर्सेज ऑफ इंस्पिरेशन. ठीक है, ये दिमाग में रखो. ओके, चलो. सो देयर आर टू म्यूजेस इन द फोरग्राउंड एंड वन म्यूज एट द बैकग्राउंड. देयर आर ऑब्जेक्ट्स प्लेस्ड नियर द म्यूजेस. ओके, then
one of the muses on foreground with slightly green colored is standing near a building on the shadow in a expressive manner. A cat is sitting on a colorful stool near the muse. Another muse with off-white or cream colored is sitting like statue on a bright green color box. A red mask is placed on the floor near the muse. Part of the mask is on shadow. The muse at the sorry sir, sorry. The muse at the background is standing on a rounded surface like a statue and shows back to the audience. A subject appear like a stick placed near the muse. A bright multicolored box on the front ground surface. Overall, the painting is look like an indoor situation of court where case is hearing. The standing muse on front ground might be the judge, and the second muse who is sitting might be the real culprit, as mask symbolizes the unreal face or unrevealed truth. The muse and the shadow may represent the truth or an important part of the event. When the muse will come out of shadow, truth will be revealed. And the cat may be represent common people, whether he or she wants or not, but she is a part of the system.
अच्छा एक चीज बोलो, हाँ वेरी गुड। ये जो तुमने जो
पैराग्राफ है, ये तुमने अभी असली चीज बताई है।
आई होप दैट इट इज योर ओन इंटरप्रिटेशन।
सर प्रॉमिस सर, मैंने कहीं से भी थोड़ा सा भी इंस्पायर, मैंने कहीं से भी क्या उसको कहते हैं रेफरेंस भी नहीं लिया है सर।
वेरी गुड, दिस इज योर इंटरप्रिटेशन। या दिस इज वेरी गुड, दिस इज वेरी गुड। देखो व्हाट इज इम्पोर्टेंट इज जो एग्जामिनर है, okay, whether he or she agrees with you or not about the interpretation, he will appreciate your position, ठीक है ना। And what is interpretation? Your interpretation, interpretation of art, this is not science. Interpretation of art will always be subjective, कि तुम्हारा interpretation will be different from my interpretation. My interpretation will be different from somebody else's interpretation. तुमने जो interpret किया, तुम्हें जो महसूस हुआ, तुमने वही लिखा, and it is a very honest thing that you have written straight from the heart. Of course, that is how you read intellectually. So this is what is required, which is very good. ठीक है, चलो।
सर वो एक्चुअली मुझे नहीं लगता है गूगल पे एनालिसिस है शायद।
ना है, गूगल में एनालिसिस है।
कुछ गूगल पे मिल जाएगा तो 5,500 रुपए से उसकी बुक्स चालू होती हैं, जो 30,000 रुपए तक की जाती है। अगर जाके देखोगी तो 5,000 रुपए से चालू होता है जो किताब। मैं आई वाज टेलिंग रंजन, कास्चन का पब्लिकेशन में 40-50 प्रिंटर्स के ऊपर 1,000 रुपए का बुक अवेलेबल है सीरीज के अंदर, 94 पेजेस का। केवल जॉर्जियो चिरियो का जो बुक है वो 5,500 का है। केवल इस आदमी का बुक 5,500 का है, बाकियों का है ही नहीं, और वो पीडीएफ अवेलेबल नहीं है इंटरनेट पे। तो अगर आप वास्तव में वो चीजें समझना चाहते हैं तो आपको खर्च करना पड़ेगा पैसा, और फिर पल्ले पड़ेगा। हर चीज फोकट में नहीं मिलती है, जो लोगों को लगता है गूगल में जाएंगे ढूंढ लेंगे। तो अगर गूगल में ढूंढ लेंगे तो 5,500 की किताब कौन खरीदेगा? वो खरीदेगा कोई नहीं।
लेकिन गूगल में है इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन, ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं है, तो ढूंढना पड़ेगा
है, बट वो हर चीज नहीं है। मैं ये कहता हूं।
हाँ ऑफ कोर्स।
चलिए
जी सर, कि पेंटिंग जो सॉरियलिस्ट persistence of memory, on foreground a landscape that appeared to be rock and the river in white colored in a static mode. On left there is a square shaped appear to be a floor. There are 3 clocks pressing on different places, and clocks are in liquid forms. Seems like they are melting. A rock is hanging on a tree with no leaves, and the tree is placed on a unnatural man-made floor. Another clock is placed on that floor. An unusual creature is lying on the dark surface, and a clock is lying on the creature. As the title of the painting and the melting clocks in the painting both talks about memories. In the painting, clock symbolize the time is flowing. The tree with no leaves is symbolize the season of fall. Lying creature on dark might seems that the end of a time, as dark represents negativity.
ठीक है, again देखो, this is your interpretation, I believe, which whether we agree with it or not, we appreciate. ठीक है, so at least you have made an effort to interpret the painting. ठीक है, so this is good.
बाकी तो यही होगा। आप 90% चांसेस इस बात के हैं कि अगर आपका पेंटिंग में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है तो वो पेंटिंग जिंदगी में पहली बार देख रहे होगे। और जब कोई पेंटिंग पहली बार देख रहे होगे तो अपनी खोपड़ी खुजानी पड़ेगी, क्योंकि वहां पर ना तो कोई नरेश शर्मा बोलने वाला है, ना कोई और प्रज्ञा परिमिता प्रधान आपको समझाएगी। आपको अपनी खोपड़ी खुजानी पड़ेगी। खुजाओगे तो पल्ले पड़ेगा कुछ, नहीं खुजाओगे तो 0 मार्क्स मिलने वाले हैं। ध्यान रखना, पेपर में लास्ट ईयर भी आ चुका है और डायरेक्शन में भी पेपर आ चुका है पेंटिंग को लेके, और सरलिस्ट ही पेंटर आएगा जिसमें खोपड़ी खुजानी पड़ती है, और किसी पेंटिंग में खोपड़ी नहीं खुजानी पड़ती। चलिए वत्सला सक्सेना आइए.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, sir, starting with the first answer, Pittura Metaphysica, metaphysical paintings, was the term used to describe the works of De Chirico and later Carlo Cara, Giorgio Morandi, and others created from 1909 into the early 1920s. Ironically, one of the definitions of metaphysical is going beyond the physical matter. The style is characterized by images conveying a sense of mystery and hallucination, unreal, which means deep perspectives, unreal lighting, adoption of strange iconography, the use of mannequins and statues in place of human figures, in an incongruous juxtaposition of realistically depicted objects later taken over by the surrealist, and a dreamlike quality. The dreamlike quality conveyed by the metaphysical painters differed from the surrealists because they were concerned with pictorial structure. Their works often have an architectural sense of repose from Italian Renaissance art. These artworks aim to disturb and disquiet, to make the viewers reassess the nature of reality and search beneath its surface for elusive memories and surprising insights. Metaphysical painters traded objective representations of the changing world for depictions that express the feelings of those that inhabited it. For example, De Chirico's sense of alienation is an element in metaphysical paintings. He often took solace in the symbolic, uncanny, and abstract to express this. And the composition, De Chirico's Song of Love, is rectangular, a portrait, and features an unreal perspective and lighting. Even though the dark sky seems to suggest that the time is late evening, the objects at the frame's focus are well lit up as if by natural light. There is no known reason for juxtaposing the objects. A Greek sculpture inspired by the Italian Renaissance, an absurdly large glove, and a ball that appears closer to the foreground. The walls, the objects pinned to the building, and the train in the background create a sense of depth. The train also blows a puff of smoke that contributes to the same. All the objects have long, elongated shadows. So, in the Song of Love, the content, we see De Chirico's familiar love of Italian architecture. The arcades make an appearance here. The view from the lonely tower and the lonely train in the background blowing a puff of smoke make a subtle impression on the viewer's mind. Incidentally, the train represents De Chirico's childhood. The objects too have a meaning. Although they are man-made, the man himself is conspicuously absent from the painting. The glove represents the pointing hand of fate. The ball is a symbol of perfection. And finally, the Greek sculpture of the god Apollo suggests to us viewers the themes of poetry and clairvoyance. At the same time, the painting as a whole has a distinctly unsettling dreamlike quality. This quality may be due to the unreal perspective and lighting.
Okay. Chalo.
Okay. So this is the Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dali. So the composition consists of the planes, the flat surfaces giving direction in the artwork, asymmetrical balance, illusions of depth created by the cliffs and the water, impeccable line detail, manipulation of shapes, and dreamlike colors. Dali creates multiple planes, such as the box in the bottom left corner of the canvas. The dead tree on the far side of the box has a vertical and horizontal orientation. The strange human-like creature is in a diagonal plane. Also, the balance is asymmetrical since the objects are juxtaposed, but they still maintain balance. The watch on the bottom left is large, but the viewer still notices the tiny ants. Also, it is painted golden orange compared to the other light blue color watches. The clocks have a different hardness, softness. The painter manipulated the shapes of the clock, making them appear like melting cheese. The cliffs are hard objects to depict reality. Finally, the ridges and water create depth.
Depth.
Okay, sorry. Answer: the objects in the foreground, like the clock, the box, the clocks, and the strange creature, suggest humankind's presence, but the cliff and the water in the background offer no signs of life, with no waves or disturbances on the surface of the water. The melting clocks appear like moving living creatures, the symbolism suggesting a diminishing time value. At the time of painting, Einstein had come up with his theory of relativity, which meant a new notion of time. The painter may have imagined time in the post-Einstein world to hold little value. At the same time, he may have been mocking the middle-class obsession of the public with pocket watches. The creature with the clock draped on it has a human-like nose, long eyelashes, but no hair on the body, like a mix of a human fish and dolphin. Like a dream, this painting rarely offers answers to the questions it poses.
Okay. Yeah. Go down.
आइंस्टाइन वाला जो आइडिया है बहुत अच्छा आइडिया है, बिकॉज ही गिव द फोर्थ डायमेंशन एंड एक डिप्लोमा भी है एफटीआई के अंदर, शायद डब्ल्यूडे का डिप्लोमा है शायद, आई एम नॉट श्योर। तो जो डायमेंशन का टाइम का जो आइडिया है वो हम जनरली फोर्थ डायमेंशन जो अल्बर्ट आइंस्टीन की बात करते हैं थ्योरी ऑफ रिलेटिविटी का, वो बहुत अच्छा कनेक्ट निकाला है तुमने, उसी टाइम पीरियड के आसपास का ये चक्कर है। So he must have interpreted the idea of time in his own way.
Yes, sir.
आइए।
The Archaeologist by Giorgio de Chirico. The Archaeologist is a rectangular portrait work featuring two mannequins. Though their hands are realistic, their face is entirely devoid of human-like features. They are seated on a low seat with exaggeratedly short legs. Curiously, the mannequins and most of the painting are monochrome except for the brownish mountains and the azure sky. And this, I thought something about it, but I didn't write it here. That I thought that there is only one tone for the mannequins and most of the painting because they are in the past. But the different color of the blue sky and the mountains might suggest that they are physically present in the present, but actually they are belonging to the past, something like that. The hills also add depth, but the picture focuses on the mannequins' close-ups. Their abdomens are full of ancient ruins, columns, small temples, busts, aqueducts, and sculptures. The warm colors of the mannequins' ground and lower sky contrast with the cool blue tone of the upper skies.
Okay, chalo, go down a little. Yeah.
The two figures in the painting archaeologists seem like the wise men of Greece. De Chirico was born in Greece. They may be poets, philosophers, and archaeologists, as the name suggests. The loss of human facial features implies a gradual decline of knowledge, beauty, and wisdom over time. The abdomens of the mannequins are full of the remains of a past and origin that were lost forever, and perhaps represented a golden age and infancy of the world that can only come back to us in the vague memory of dreams.
Okay.
सीरीज है उसका पेंटिंग का, थोड़ा और तुम बाकी की पेंटिंग भी देखोगी तो these mannequin which you are mentioning, mannequin, some researcher use the word called dolls, you know.
Okay.
So, and sometime they were without hands if you look at the some of the other painting, and if you sometime with the kind of that when you go for a war you wear some kind of protection for your body. I'm forgetting the name for that. So you will see them with that that kind of clothing or covering of these dolls and mannequins. Sometime with the robes, sometime without that. So if you, it is just a certain element, he continue with that. Certain elements he changed over the time. So there is one need to know the continuity of his work from the previous time than what he is doing now. But it is still researched a little bit of on the Google, but you have not added anything of your thing. So I can tell you what sentence is written where, but you also need to interpret by yourself. Only then it will give a meaning.
Sir, my interpretation is of the lack of human features, that I think that it's about how the knowledge and beauty gets lost. So I only thought about it was kind of curious, but sir, so we can think that they are like warriors because you mentioned that they have the war kind of clothing.
I will not say warrior, but these armors, we call it as armors, because when the people are hard enough, you know, these mannequins are what? They are very hard. They are,
Yes,
they don't have a emotional content. So they are as good as a stone or anything which is devoid of any feeling and all that. And on the top of it, then you see these armors, you know, these clothes which are very made of tough material, metal sometime, mainly metal basically, you know, metallic clothing. So it's what you were mentioning here, that the lost remains of a past and origin that were lost forever, perhaps representation of a golden age. ये जो golden age जो word है, ये बड़ा important शब्द है अपने आप में. Why we call it as a golden age and today's age we don't call it as a golden? There is a reason behind it. You know, so he used these kind of mannequin, or earlier the dolls with robes, and then it becomes a kind of a mannequin. I mean, doll and mannequins are more or less same, but there's a difference. Dolls has a face structure, nose, but here it is almost faceless.
Faceless, lifeless, dead. You know, conveys a sense of negativity. Or dolls are very playful. Children play with dolls, so it's an impression बनता है. ठीक है ना?
इप्सन का एक प्ले है डॉल्स हाउस. अभी जो फेमस प्ले है इप्सन के, उसमें डॉल्स हाउस माना जाता है, और उसका थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड देखना, तब कुछ और चीजें पकड़ में आएंगी कि व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड डॉल्स हाउस. तो वो डॉल का कनेक्ट जो है आपको मिलेगा थोड़ा सा. हाँ जी.
यस सर.
बोलिए.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hi, sir. Metaphysical art, the form of painting that investigated the magical and mysterious aspects of reality, aiming to beyond the physical world around us. Metaphysical painting was a style of painting developed by the Italian Giorgio de Chirico. The movement began in 1910 with the Chirico, whose dreamlike works with sharp contrast of light and shadows often had a vaguely threatening, mysterious quality, painting that which cannot be seen. Giorgio de Chirico was influenced by the 19th century symbolist painting Den, ये भी स्पेलिंग शायद गलत हो गया, Den T. Gabriel Rossetti.
Dante Gabriel Rossetti.
Dante Gabriel Rossetti, that favored the depiction of imaginary worlds instead of realistic imagery. He was also inspired by the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. During World War I, De Chirico met artist Carlo Cara in Ferrari, Italy. De Chirico painting made a huge impact on Cara. His works were subsequently with the Scolo Metaphysical School, along with those De Chirico school था सर कोई मैंने इसमें पढ़ा था वो साथ में कुछ मतलब वो metaphysical art was characterized by the unusual arrangement of objects, strange interiors, and dream-like views of deserted cities, square and Greek mythology. Other painters adopted the metaphysical style. Philippe de Fissis, The Sacred Fish, उसकी जो painting है 1934, और Giorgio Morandi and Mario Cironi, The Metaphysical Robot, Aaron 1915, जो Mario Cironi की painting. And the movement runs between 1911 to 1920, and their work strongly influenced the surrealists in the 1920s. After मतलब 1920s के. तो सर इसके नीचे दो पेंटिंग्स उसके कॉम्पोजिशन में समझ नहीं पा रहा था, तो मैंने उसके बारे में नहीं लिखा, एंड फिर परसिस्टेंस ऑफ मेमोरीज के बारे में फिर The well-known surrealist piece introduced the image of the soft melting rocket watch. It emphasizes Dali's theory of softness and hardness, which was central to his thinking at the time. The soft watches are an unconscious symbol of the relativity of space and time. This interpretation suggests that Dali was incorporating an understanding of the world introduced by Albert Einstein's theory of spatial relativity, light travel, but melted clock inspired by the surrealist perception of a melting in the sun. It can be read as a fading creature, one that often appears in dreams where the dreamer cannot pinpoint the creature's exact form and composition. One can observe that the creature has one closed eye with several eyelashes, suggesting that the creature is also in dream state. The iconography may refer to a dream that Dali himself had experienced, and the clocks may symbolize the passing of time as one experiences it in sleep, or the persistence of time in the eyes of the dreamer. The creature in this painting seems to be based on a figure from a paradise section. ये सर कोई वो मैंने पढ़ा था इसमें
बड़ा पेंटर है, बहुत बड़ा पेंटर बॉश.
हाँ जी. The which Dali had studied, जहाँ पे मतलब दाली ने वो स्टडी करी थी कुछ ऐसा कुछ. The orange clock at the bottom left of the painting is covered in ants. Dali often used ants in his painting as a symbol of decay, power loss or something else. Another insect that is present in the painting is a fly, which sits on the watch that is next to the orange watch. The fly appears to be casting a human shadow as the sun hits on it. Or the persistence of memory employs the exactitude of realistic painting technique depict imagery of more likely to be found in dreams than in waking consequences. The craggy rocks to the right represent at the tip of Cap de Crisis Peninsula, northeastern Canada. मतलब जहाँ वो सारे कोई कोना था वो उस इमेज के अंदर की वो माउंटेन्स मतलब क्या बोलते हैं उसको, वो जगह जहाँ पे मतलब कैटरीना जहाँ पे मेज दाली मोस्टली दाली अपनी पेंटिंग्स को लैंडस्केप बनाता था अपने. एंड द स्ट्रेंज एंड फोरबोर्डिंग शैडो इन द फोरग्राउंड ऑफ द पेंटिंग इज अ रेफरेंस टू माउंट पानी.
अभी की बात यह है कि ये जो तुमने इधर उधर से लिखा है,
यस सर,
12 पॉइंट जो लिखे हैं, ये क्या 12 पॉइंट अगर ये क्वेश्चन आ जाता है मान लीजिए, तो क्या आप ये 12 पॉइंट याद रख पाएंगे? सबसे बड़ी बात ये है. और ये 12 पॉइंट में कुछ एक पॉइंट ऐसे हैं जो डुप्लीकेट है अपने आप में और कुछ इररिलेवेंट भी है थोड़े से. इट इज लाइक फुल वाइन इनटू बॉटल. तो वो पॉइंट का मतलब ये है कि सारे के सारे 12 पॉइंट अगर आपको अभी बिठा दिया जाए पेपर और पेन लेके, तो क्या आप 12 लिख पाएंगे? ये पॉइंट का मतलब होता है कि 12 पॉइंट याद रहेंगे मुझे और मैं 12 लिखूंगा. ठीक है,
सब मेन में लिख दूंगा सर.
ये मेन कितने लिख पाओगे
सर? 7-8.
7-8 तो बहुत ज्यादा हो गए. 6 याद रह जाए बहुत है. चलिए कोई बात नहीं. अब अभिनय कुमार, क्यों मैं बोल रहा हूँ, क्योंकि ये लैंग्वेज जो है ना, ये गूगल की लैंग्वेज है और गूगल की लैंग्वेज को पहले समझना पड़ता है, उसको डाइजेस्ट करना पड़ता है और फिर उसको अपनी लैंग्वेज में कन्वर्ट करना पड़ता है, जो आप लोग नहीं करते. बट कुछ करते हो वो बेटर है. जो साइड में टूरिस्ट लोग 23-22 बैठे हुए हैं, 4 लोगों को छोड़ के, बाकी तो 16 तो टूरिस्ट लोग हैं. यहाँ पे आके कोई प्रवचन चल रहा है, उनको लग रहा है कि बस हो जाएगा हमारा भी काम. वो काम नहीं होने वाला. जब तक खुद नहीं सोचोगे तब तक कुछ नहीं होगा.
सर वैसे एक्चुअली सर एक सॉरी मैं बीच में टोक रहा हूं आपको. सर वैसे एक्चुअली मेरी आदत ये है, मैं कोई भी फोटोग्राफी वो लेता हूं तो उसको अपनी लैंग्वेज में लिखता हूं. मैं यहाँ पे लिखने से थोड़ा
तुमने जो लिखा है, मैं एक सेंटेंस भी तुम्हारा 12 पॉइंट में अपना नहीं है.
नहीं है सर, ये मैं मानता हूँ. मैंने अपनी लैंग्वेज में लिखने से कतराया सर, कि मेरे को लगा शायद तो बहुत ज्यादा बेकार ना हो, इसलिए मैंने.
बेकार भी होती है. आप कोई बात को जब समझ जाते हो ना, तो फिर वो जो जहां से आपने वो आइडिया उठाया, वो लैंग्वेज को छोड़ के आप उसको अपनी लैंग्वेज में लिखना चालू करते हो, देन इट बिकम मोर रियल, मोर ऑथेंटिक. दैट इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग. चलिए अभिनय कुमार, पहली बार नाम सुना जिंदगी में तुम्हारा. आइए
सर, थोड़ा स्क्रॉल डाउन कर. Metaphysical paintings. It was a style of painting that started during Surrealism art movement between 1911 and 1920 by Italian artists Giorgio de Chirico and Carlo Cara. The main characteristic.
देखो ये तो पहले इंफॉर्मेशन तुम्हारा गलत है. Surrealism came a little later. Surrealism is a post First World War movement. Okay, और ये जो movement है 1911 से तुमने खुद लिखा to 1920. Okay, this movement inspired or influenced the surrealists a lot. ठीक है, it did not start during the surrealist art movement. Okay, चलो पढ़ो.
Okay sir. The main characteristics of metaphysical paintings include the use of images designed to convey a sense of mystery. Such enigmatic, dreamlike imagery is typically marked by unreal lighting, impossible linear perspective, and strange symbolism in iconography. Giorgio Chirico, in his painting Turni Melanchole 1915, for example, he illustrated just such a sequence using unnaturally sharp contrast of light and shadow that lent an aura of poignant but vaguely threatening mystery to the scene. Other painters who adopted the style, including Giorgio Morandi around 1917 to 1920, Filippo de Picis, and Mario Sironi. Some famous metaphysical paintings are the Enigma of the Hour.
एनिग्मा तुम वर्ड फॉलो करो ना. तुमने खुद लिखा है. एनिग्मा लग रहा है या एनिग्मा लग रहा है?
एनिग्मा ऑफ द आवर. गेरे मोंटपार्ट्स ने. हाँ, more 5 से The Song of Love, Metaphysical Interior with Biscuits and many more.
Okay. Go down.
ये मेटाफिजिकल इंटीरियर ऑफ बिस्किट वाला पेंटिंग तुम लोगों को दिखाया गया था एमसीक्यू की क्लास में, क्योंकि तुम लोग सो रहे थे उस टाइम में या थे ही नहीं यहाँ पर, तुम्हें पता ही नहीं है कौन सा मेटाफिजिकल इंटीरियर ऑफ बिस्किट की बात हो रही है, तो थोड़ा जाग के सुन भी लिया करो कभी कभी। चलिए।
Composition. In this painting, foreground as ball, midground as wall, and background blue sky. Background as blue sky, which are creating depth. Second, there are contrast between size of ball and human head, as well as contrast between color of sky and gloves. Gloves hanging to down the ground, which creates balance between human head and gloves. There are many lines which creates separation and shape of ball. U-shaped window adds detail because of bigger in size of human head and gloves, which become center of interest in the composition. Content. It gives the feeling of that everything has been ended because they are pasted on wall for showcase. Only the head part of human body is pasted on the wall. Also a hand gloves pasted on the wall, which means there are no one left to use the hand gloves, means that end of human being.
अच्छा पॉइंट है ये, हालांकि तुमने उठाया है ये।
नो सर, ये जो कंपोजिशन और कंटेंट है ये सर दोनों अपने से लिखा हूँ, बस स्टार्टिंग का जो नोट्स लिखना था मेटाफिजिकल वो बस वो गूगल से किया।
ठीक है, चलो एटलीस्ट तुमने एफर्ट डाला है, which is appreciable.
थैंक यू सर।
देखो, चाहे एक ही पॉइंट तुमने अपना लिखा है उसमें कंटेंट का, बट वो अपना होना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि अब ये इंटरप्रिटेशन है तुम्हारा कि भाई ग्लव्स और ह्यूमन बॉडी और बॉल, तीन चीजें उसने मेनली इस्तेमाल की है वहां पर, तो तीन ऑब्जेक्ट के पीछे कुछ ना कुछ तो थ्योरी होगा, कुछ ना कुछ दिमाग में चल रहा होगा उस आदमी के। अब वो दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है तुम्हारे हिसाब से, ये मीनिंग है उसका।
सर पिक्चर देखने के बाद जो उस वक्त आया वही मैं लिख दिया।
वही लिखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि वहां पे पेंटिंग वो आएगी जो शायद पहली बार ही देखोगे तुम लोग, until unless you have a deep and keen interest, जो मुझे लग नहीं रहा, क्योंकि आज 2 लड़कों ने और 2 लड़कियों ने लिखा है, बाकी सब लोग जो है यहाँ पे बैठ के देख रहे हैं कि कुछ ऐसा कुछ मिल जाएगा और हम लिख गया रट के उसको चले जाएंगे वहां एग्जाम में, और वो जो है हम कुछ करके आ जाएंगे। कोई बात, कल थोड़ा सा सिंप्लीफाई करते हैं, कल थोड़ा सिंपल करेंगे, सिंपल ज्यादा सिंपल नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि सिंपल में तो कुछ करने के लिए होता ही नहीं है, तो जिसमें कुछ करने के लिए हो थोड़ा बहुत। बट आर्ट के अंदर हम लोगों ने अभी कुल मिला के 6 ही मूवमेंट कवर किए हैं, कम से कम 7-8 और हैं जिनके ऊपर शॉर्ट नोट्स पूछा जा सकता है। उसमें ये मेटाफिजिकल जो है बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट लगा मुझे, तो इसलिए मैंने ये जो है आपको 1-2 पेंटिंग, मेनली 3 पेंटिंग उस पर्टिकुलर आदमी की दी है, जिससे कि आप जो है थोड़ा सा तैयार हो जाओ। और इस आदमी की पेंटिंग को लेके लोगों ने स्टैंप इशू किए हैं अलग अलग कंट्रियों में। ऐसा नहीं उसी कंट्री में, इटली में या मेरी कंट्री में पैदा हुआ तो मेरी कंट्री में स्टैंप निकल रहा है ना, और कंट्रियों ने एक रेड टावर करके इसका बहुत फेमस पेंटिंग है, उसको लेके स्टैंप है। तो फालतू फालतू आदमी नहीं है, बट ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, जितना आप लोगों ने लिखा। So Ranjan has also jotted down some points, so he will read it out for you.
Okay, देखो, the points that I've jotted down are also taken from the social media, ठीक है ना? So which most of these things already all of you have discussed. Okay, so there are just I'll just read out, and you already know all these things, but I'll just try to emphasize on a few things. Okay, first of all, metaphysical painting. You know, by this time, all 4 of you, the sources are the same. Style of painting developed by Italian artists like Giorgio di Chirico and Carlo Cara. The movement began in 1910 with De Chirico, whose dreamlike works with sharp contrast of light and shadow often had a vaguely threatening and mysterious quality. ये जो मैंने बोल्ड में लिखा, these are the characteristics. थोड़ा सा vaguely threatening, mysterious quality, मतलब mysterious quality, they are not realistic, और थोड़ा सा threatening, वो एक threat convey करता है. That is the impression that we get. Painting that which cannot be seen. His younger brother Alberto Savinio and Cara formally established the school and its principles, I think, in 1970. Okay, so what are the characteristics? The character use of images designed to convey a sense of mystery. Enigmatic matlab mystery, something mysterious. Such enigmatic And dream-like imagery is typically marked by unreal lighting. ये भी तुम लोगों ने लिखा, impossible linear perspectives and strange symbolist iconography. Okay, also unexpected juxtaposition of objects. Unexpected juxtaposition of objects मतलब two objects are juxtaposed against each other which are not related at all. Very, very unexpected, very, very unusual kind of juxtaposition. Okay. अच्छा, third point देखो, the romantic themes of tragedy, enigma and melancholy were to provide the basis for the creation. देखो, what do I mean by romantic? By romantic we don't mean love and romance Hindi filmon ka. Romanticism was a movement, as I told you earlier a couple of weeks ago. Romanticism was a movement, especially in poetry and in art, which looked at life, which displayed a very ideal kind of life. Okay, बहुत ही सुंदर एक माउंटेन रहेगा, सुंदर आसमान रहेगा, सुंदर रिवर रहेगा, सुंदर एक लड़की अपनी पानी लेके जा रही है. Very, very idealized, very, very romanticized version of life, which was actually not real. उसके romanticism movement के बाद जो realist movement आया, realism ने बोला, both in literature and in पेंटिंग्स, रियलिज्म ने बोला लाइफ ऐसा नहीं है, लाइफ इतना आइडियलाइज नहीं है, लाइफ इतना ब्यूटीफुल नहीं है बॉस, लाइफ बहुत परेशान, लाइफ में बहुत परेशानी है, लाइफ में बहुत हार्डशिप है, लाइफ में बहुत कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है. तो रियलिस्ट पेंटिंग्स टर्न्ड द फोकस टुवर्ड्स द थिंग्स व्हिच hitherto मतलब तब तक paintings did not focus on the conflicts, the urban conflict, because by that time industrial revolution शुरू हो गया था. There's a lot of migration from the rural areas to the city areas, and a new working class was born. They were living in slums in very unhealthy conditions. They were getting they were not well paid at all. They were getting very less money as wages, and they're spending all the money on drinking, and they're beating up their wives, they're beating up their children. The children grew up in a very dysfunctional kind of atmosphere. So realism kya hai, turned its lights, turned its focus on this kind of a lifestyle to show something which are not very good or proper. Whereas romanticism romantic themes focused on tragedy matlab, I mean, not human tragedy, okay, not tragedy in the scale of kind of jaise ki Bhopal gas tragedy. Bhopal gas tragedy will never be the subject of romanticists. Bhopal gas tragedy will always be the subject of the realists. तो ये tragedy का मतलब समझने का कोशिश करो. When I say romantic themes of tragedy मतलब unrequited love. Unrequited love मतलब तुम एक लड़की को प्यार करते हो, लेकिन लड़की does not reciprocate your love. और लड़की भी तुम्हें प्यार करती है, लेकिन for whatever reasons, social reasons or whatever reasons, you cannot unite together. So that human tragedies, relationship tragedies, here is being talked about. Enigma matlab, even in romantic painting, there's an element of mystery. There's an element of element of mystery and melancholy, an element of sadness. These things that you see, these beautiful things that you see, okay, are not permanent. These things will also pass. A young girl which you see in the picture, so lovely looking, good looking a girl carrying a pail of water, she'll also become mold. So there's a sense of sadness, there's a sense of tragedy, there's a sense of melancholy. Melancholy matlab sadness. Life is not permanent, life is always moving. So these are romantic themes. So these romantic themes provided the basis for Chirico. When he started painting his paintings, which came to be known as metaphysical paintings. Now, not only the romantic themes of tragedy, enigma, and melancholy influenced him, but also he was influenced by classical Renaissance architecture and Greek sculpture. And what is this Renaissance architecture and Greek sculpture? First of all, Renaissance is associated with Italy. Okay, Italy gave birth to the Renaissance. Of course, Renaissance spread all over Europe. So what is Renaissance? Renaissance का मतलब होता है rebirth. So why rebirth? अगर birth होगा तो rebirth होगा. Without birth, there is no rebirth. So Renaissance or rebirth is a new way, a new attempt, an attempt which is made again to look at the Greek civilization, because the Greek European civilization जो है या Western civilization जो है, उसका foundation is the Greek civilization, which is like 3,000 years old. Okay, Greek tragedies by people like Sophocles, Aeschylus, Euripides were Greek tragedians who wrote fantastic plays. Okay, the Greek architecture, Greek sculpture, most of it has not survived the ravages of time. Okay, but whatever has survived in the form of architecture and literature, they went on influencing, you know, the successive European generations. मैं यूरोप इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ तब अमेरिका पैदा नहीं हुआ था, मैं जिस टाइम का बात बोल रहा हूँ 3000 years ago. America is very young. America is 400 or 500 years old. You know, America was formed by the settlers who migrated from Europe from different European countries to America, the vast continent. So I'm using the word Europe again and again. So Europe का जो civilizational जो foundation है, you know, that is the Greek civilization. Okay, and Greek civilization में what is very important are those larger than life kind of, you know, expressions, मतलब those solid pillars and symmetry and beauty. So that is what Greek culture, Greek civilization represents. Okay, and the Italian Renaissance जो movement था, that was heavily influenced by the Greek culture and Greek way of looking at things, Greek civilization. और Renaissance का क्या है? Renaissance का main criteria ये है कि human being जो है, इंसान जो है, he is the center of the universe. It is not God. Okay, of course, God is there. They did not deny God, but He is the center of creation. That is what Renaissance is about. Everything stems from, everything emanates from the man. Okay, so ये जो बंदा है जॉर्जियो जी क्यूरो, जिसका पेंटिंग अभी हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, he was influenced both by the romantic themes of tragedy, enigma, and melancholy, and also he was influenced by the Greek civilization, the Greek culture, and also the classical Renaissance architecture. तो उसका पेंटिंग्स में तुम जो आर्किटेक्चर जो देखोगे, पिलर्स, those are all Roman pillars, and the Roman pillars in their turn were influenced by the Greek pillars, the arcade, you know, the entire जो architecture जो तुम्हें दिखाई देगा. Okay, so what are the other features of Giorgio di Chioro's paintings? Number 4, a disquieting imagery of deserted squares. What do I mean by that? What is the meaning of disquieting? Disquieting मतलब अरे यार, you know, things are not right, you know, things are not proper, something is missing, kuch to gandagol hai, you know. So that is the meaning of disquiet. So disquieting imagery of deserted squares. Why are the squares deserted? Squares matlab कोई भी मोहल्ले में, you know, there are squares जहाँ पे लोग इकट्ठे होते हैं, बातें बोलते हैं, लड़की लोग मिलते हैं, gossips करते हैं. Those are squares where human beings, the inhabitants, मोहल्ले के लोग interact करते हैं. Those squares are suddenly deserted. There's no human being. So there's a mysterious quality. Okay, so that is what this guy is trying to convey through his paintings. The effect was to, so he's using long shadows, and or in the place of figures there are, you know, mannequins. Mannequins are dead. Mannequins don't have eyes. Mannequins are not even like dolls. Dolls have eyes. Dolls convey a very joyful kind of a spirit. Children love toys, but children might get scared of mannequins. Mannequins तो कोई adult इंसान भी अगर देखेगा तो डर जाएगा रात के अंधेरे में. Okay, so instead of human beings in the picture, he's using mannequins. So जब तुम mannequin use कर रहे हो, तुम जब deserted locations use कर रहे हो, you know what you are conveying, basically you are conveying a sense of unease. Unease मतलब you are no longer comfortable. Oh my God, there's a sense of mystery, there's a sense of enigma, there's a sense of disquiet. Things are not proper. Okay, there's a dislocation of time and space. Things are looking familiar, but they are not familiar. That is the idea. Okay, despite looking familiar, because most of his settings, most of his drawings of the buildings, which were influenced by the Renaissance architecture and the Greek sculpture, तुम अगर देखोगे paintings में, they're very, very realistic. Okay, Renaissance painting was very, very realistic. Okay, Michelangelo, the Renaissance painter, वो जब human figure जब draw करेगा ना, वो perfect human figure draw करेगा. All the veins you can see, all the nerves, every part of the body लगेगा तुम कोई सच्ची का कोई इंसान को देख रहे हो. Okay, but Renaissance का क्या है? सच मतलब it's a very idealized form of a human form. We don't look like that. We don't have 6 packs, but Michelangelo will draw a human being with 6 packs, kind of. You know, just to give you a random example. Okay. So Carlo Cara, who joined the movement a little later, he developed a variation of the metaphysical style in which the dynamism of his earlier work was replaced by immobility or dynamism का फर्क क्या है? A lot of paintings, there's a painting is always still, there's no movement in a painting. But in a lot of painters, for example, Carlo Cara का earlier paintings जो है, which I'm not very familiar with, frankly, उसमें there's a sense of dynamism, there's a sign of movement. Okay, it's very dynamic. Things are not static. But when he comes under the influence of, you know, this particular movement, when he becomes friends with this guy, Chirico, he starts drawing paintings where the dynamism is missing. It's a sense of immobility, static. Things are very, very static. His works lacked De Chirico's sense of irony and enigma, and he always retained a correct perspective. हाँ, इसके पेंटिंग्स में क्या है, वो सेंस ऑफ एनिग्मा नहीं था कार्लो कारा का, जो सेंस ऑफ एनिग्मा तुम्हें इसमें दिखाई देगा, तुम्हें चिरिको का पेंटिंग में दिखाई देगा. Okay, now point number 6 is very important. These painters use representational but incongruous imagery to produce disquieting effects on the view. I'll explain this. Let me go through point number 7. Major influence on the this particular movement had a major influence on surrealist painters who considered that an unconstrained मतलब जिसके ऊपर कोई मतलब कोई कंट्रोल नहीं है, or almost unconscious level thought consists of jumbled images and impulses. That is what the surrealists thought. Okay, imagine कि हम लोग जब हमारा जो थॉट है, मन के अंदर जो थॉट है, उसका कोई लॉजिक नहीं है, उसका कोई रैशनल नहीं है, इट्स इरैशनल, उसका ऊपर कोई कंट्रोल नहीं, इट्स मिक्स्ड, इट कंसिस्ट ऑफ जम्बल्ड इमेजेस एंड impulses. And the surrealists gave prominence to that, you know, jumbled images and impulses. Subconscious level में जो thought prevail करता है, you know, that is what defines the surrealist paintings. And ये जो criteria है, ये जो element है, you know, jumbled images and impulses, unusual juxtapositions, these are actually influenced by the metaphysical movement. ये जो idea जो है, you know, so that is why it's said कि the metaphysical movement had a major impact on the surrealists. Influenced as they were by contemporary psychology, influenced as they were मतलब I'm talking about the surrealists by contemporary psychology, मतलब मैं last week को समझाया था तुम्हें, Freud, Sigmund Freud, okay, the Austrian psychologist who was known as the father of modern psychology. He, you know, his stress, his focus on the subconscious mind, which he considered as real as the conscious mind. Okay, so they were interested in what's happening in the subconscious mind. They were not so much interested in what's happening in the conscious mind. Okay, and in particular by ideal stream of consciousness. Are you aware of this word called, the phrase called stream of consciousness? Stream of consciousness is basically a literary device. It is also used in paintings जहाँ पे जो writer है और या जो painter है, वो कुछ सोचने लगता है without any logic, without any control. जो भी दिमाग में आ रहा है, you know, it's flowing out as if it's under some kind of a influence of a drug. As if he's hallucinating. He's, you know, some hallucinatory thoughts on which he does not have control, and he does not want to control those thoughts also. And it flows out from his mind like a stream. You know, stream जब बहता है, stream में बहुत कुछ रहता है ना. Stream, especially in urban context, तुम देखो, stream में गंदगी भी रहती है, पानी भी रहता है, साफ पानी भी रहता है, गंदा पानी भी रहता है, pollution भी रहता है, कुछ भी रह सकता है. You know, so similarly, stream of consciousness is a literary approach or an approach which is applied in painting, where the painter or the writer gives free rein. Free rein मतलब चलो जो भी दिमाग में आ रहा है लिखो, control मत करो. That's called stream of consciousness. You know, that is stream of consciousness approach is an approach which the surrealists also made use of. Okay, which again was influenced heavily by the metaphysical painters. समझ में आ रहा है मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? Stream of consciousness, ये phrase याद रखो, because you might come across questions आ सकता है, what is stream of consciousness? Okay, stream of consciousness is uncontrolled thought which the artists let go during creation. ठीक है, जैसे stream of consciousness में सबसे बड़ा example है, literature में सबसे बड़ा example है, the very famous Irish writer called James Joyce. He wrote a very fat book called Ulysses. If you read Ulysses, you'll see Ulysses is the first novel, okay, which used this stream of consciousness technique, जहाँ पे characters, there are passages like, you know, which actually makes no sense. A kind of collection of words, a collection of thoughts, which does not follow any grammatical, which does not follow any grammar, which does not follow any punctuations. There's no comma, full stop. It goes on and on without any control. It's called stream of consciousness. So that is basically the depiction of a character's subjective mind. So ये जो element है, these element, the stream of consciousness element was put to use by the surrealists, who in their turn were influenced by the metaphysical painters. ठीक है, लेकिन मेटाफिजिकल पेंटिंग में क्या है, एकदम फुल स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस नहीं है लाइक द सूरियलिस्ट। वो लोग का क्या है, दे हैव अ कंट्रोल ऑन व्हाट दे आर ड्राइंग, दे आर ट्राइंग टू कन्वे सर्टेन मीनिंग्स, देयर इमेजरी इज रिच विथ सिंबोलिज्म। वो भले वो सिंबोलिज्म हमें या तुम्हें समझ में ना आए, बट वी इंटरप्रेट, जैसे कि परिणीता ने इंटरप्रेट करने का कोशिश की, ठीक है, दैट्स हर इंटरप्रिटेशन व्हिच माइट डिफर फ्रॉम माय इंटरप्रिटेशन। लेकिन क्या है कि it's all these things are, what does the glove mean, what does the belting clock mean, that's a surrealist painting of course, like I'm now talking about Chirico ka paintings, what does the ball convey, what is the meaning of that train which you can see in the background billowing smoke, so ye jo meanings hai, the meanings could be very private also. Just I was reading somewhere about the train in the background, it harks back to चिरिको's childhood memories, जब चिरिको जब वो childhood में बचपन में ट्रेन में travel करता था, उसका recollection है that train, but ordinary viewers will not know that ना, कि it's a reflection of his childhood memories. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is कि whatever the paintings that these guys are doing, the metaphysical painters are doing, unlike the surreal painters, there is a logic, there's a meaning, there's something that they are trying to say. Okay, something that they are trying to say, and they're relying heavily on they have the influences, as we've already spoken about the influences, the Greek architecture, the Roman architecture, and the romantic themes. Okay, along with that, along with those themes, what they are doing, they are juxtaposing objects, and it is the sheer juxtaposition of dissimilar objects that creates which are not very familiar, okay, which creates a very disquieting, a very disturbing kind of an effect on the viewer. So I'll just talk about point number 6. These painters use representational. What do I mean by representational? Look, paintings till the late 19th century, okay, till the late 19th century were representational. Representational मतलब mimetic. What is the meaning of mimetic? कि जो दिखाई दे रहा है मैं वही ड्रॉ कर रहा हूँ। एक इंसान जैसा देखने को होता है मैं वैसा ही ड्रॉ कर रहा हूँ, एक लैंडस्केप जैसा देखने को होता है मैं वैसा ही उसको ड्रॉ कर रहा हूँ, और इट्स ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ मिरर इमेज. Cinema, realist cinema is representational. It's mimetic. Mimetic word by mime से आता है. You're miming life. Camera mimes life. Camera का वही quality है, ठीक है? So realistic painting, why only realistic painting? All the movements before that, whether the romantic movement, even though it's idealizing human life, it is representational. Okay, there is no mystery there. I mean, there's no mystery in the sense we can understand. This is a girl carrying a pail of water. Okay, this is a beautiful river flowing by. This is a beautiful mountain. Michelangelo का जब picture देखता हूँ, okay, Michelangelo, this is a human figure. He's trying to make contact with God. Okay, so they are very, very representational, just as human life is. But the more we move ahead in history, okay, जब 19th century खत्म हो रहा है, towards the 19th century, even the impressionist painters and the post-impressionist painters, they were carrying out experiments. They were experimenting with colors. For the first time, we could see the brush strokes. For the first time, we could see the pigments on the canvas. For the first time, those pigments and the brush strokes are calling attention to themselves. Okay, look at us, look at the form, look at the visual elements. Okay, even those paintings are representational. They are impressionist paintings, despite their experiment with colors and all, and post-impressionist paintings and the pointillists. They were also representational because they are representing a landscape. They're representing a rural lifestyle. They're representing lives of the bourgeoisie. वो लोग पिकनिक में जा रहे हैं, नदी के किनारे बैठ के लंच कर रहे हैं. They were very, very representational, very, very quote unquote realistic. लेकिन धीरे धीरे वहीं से impressionism, फिर post impressionism, फिर pointillism से धीरे धीरे एक trend शुरू हो गया कि paintings started becoming less and less representational and started resorting to certain imageries which were not realistic, which were not representational. So perhaps one of the first movement of its kind is Cubism. Cubism के बारे में अगर तुम पढ़ोगे, जैसे कि Picasso was not interested in drawing a human figure the way a human figure looks like. He broke that human face into blocks. एक आई इधर है तो दूसरा ऊपर है, नोज इधर है तो लिप्स उधर है, you know, is breaking them into cubes, you know, so it is no longer representational. So by the time we come to the 20th century, the beginning of the 20th century, क्या हो रहा है, धीरे 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 ये जो पेंटिंग का representational quality जो था, ये सूदिंग जो इफेक्ट था, जो सूदिंग इफेक्ट, the good painting soothed your nerves, you felt very happy, ये धीरे 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 खत्म होने लगा. Paintings started becoming less and less representational and more abstract. Okay, so ये मूवमेंट शुरू हो गया क्यूबिज्म से. तुम अर्ली 1903 का पेंटिंग्स अगर तुम पिकासो का देखोगे, ओके, एंड उसके बाद तुम अभी जो आज हम लोग जो डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, ये जो है अपना मेटाफिजिकल पेंटिंग, वहां पे हाँ रियलिस्टिक रिप्रेजेंटेशंस है, क्योंकि पीछे का जो आर्किटेक्चर है, दे आर इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय द ग्रीक आर्किटेक्चर, द रोमन आर्किटेक्चर, ओके, लेकिन रियलिस्टिक और रिप्रेजेंटेशनल एलिमेंट्स के साथ साथ कुछ इनकॉन्ग्रुअस इमेजरी भी अभी है, जैसे कि मैनिक्विन्स. तुम मैनिक्विन्स थोड़ी देखते हो शहर में या रास्ते में, ओके, तो इंसान देखते हो, लेकिन नहीं, यहाँ पे इंसान नहीं है, यहाँ पे मैनिक्विन है कोई, या कहीं अंडा है, कहीं कोई बलून है, कहीं कोई ग्लव है, you know, so these are very incongruous. matlab something which is not very common, something out of the ordinary, something which is not commonplace. So this is a mix of, yahi se shuru ho gaya, mix of realistic elements or representation elements and incongruous imagery. This is very very important. और जितना ही फिर दादाइज्म was like extreme. We already discussed दादाइज्म तो बोल रहा है यार तुम मीनिंग ढूंढने का कोशिश ही मत करो. मेटाफिजिकल पेंटिंग्स में फिर भी तुम मीनिंग ढूंढ सकते हो, डिपेंड्स ऑन योर इंटरप्रिटेशन. ऑफ कोर्स इट्स नॉट ओनली योर इंटरप्रिटेशन. मेटाफिजिकल पेंटिंग्स presupposes a lot of knowledge on the part of the viewer. A viewer is required to be knowledgeable about Greek art and the Renaissance art and architecture and naturalistic paintings and romantic paintings and these kind of things. Only then will he be able to make some sense of a metaphysical painting, because it's rich in symbolism. It is not what you see; it conveys something else. Okay, so the viewer is needed to be educated in the Western culture, of course. So an Indian guy who suddenly goes to Europe at that time, suppose, and looks at a metaphysical painting, it will not make any sense to him. Okay, even a European guy has to have some kind of a knowledge in order to appreciate a metaphysical painting, some kind of a foundation, some kind of a knowledge. Okay, so that is why point number 6. So as the more we progress, फिर first world war आ गया, पंगा आ गया, लोग दुखी हो गए, लोग बोले यार क्या जिंदगी है यार, हाँ यहाँ पे people are dying without any reason, your near ones and dear ones are dying, your brother is dying, your father is dying in the war. Okay, and things are suddenly people become very very disturbed, and that is these things are they start getting reflected in the art. Naturally, any work of art does not exist in a vacuum, does not exist in a social vacuum. Any work of art or any movement has a social conditioning, socio-economic reason, political reasons. So these are the first half of the two world wars, the first world war from 1914 to 1918, and then the second world war 1939 to 1945. They were very disturbing experiences for mankind, and mankind got really very disturbed, and that disturbance got reflected in these kind of movements, which were no longer representational or realistic anymore. Okay?
I think we are done for today, and tomorrow I will try to incorporate few other movements of the art, because I have this feeling that there could be a short note on these art movements, because they have asked in the previous, particularly the description of painting. So for tomorrow, I would include 3 art movements. I would discuss with you, Ranjan, and one particular painting analysis as instead of 2 or 3, so that there will be a little more balancing between the So fine, you can sign it off, and for tomorrow I'll see.
और एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ before we sign off, कि मुझे I think तुम लोग of course पेंटिंग्स के बारे में, तो क्योंकि पेंटिंग्स के बारे में every year ऐसे सवाल आ रहे हैं, तो तुम लोग पेंटिंग के बारे में भी थोड़ा सा ये करो, लेकिन मुझे लगता है तुम जरा पुराने जमाने का जो इंडियन फिल्म्स हैं उसके बारे में भी थोड़ा सा नॉलेज रखो, ठीक है ना, क्योंकि कहीं से भी एक्चुअली क्या है, FTI का जो क्वेश्चन पेपर्स है ना, कहीं से भी कोई भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, ठीक है, सो वो भी थोड़ा सा स्टडी कर लो गूगल वगैरह में, ठीक है.
सर
बोलो
सर, कंपोजिशन के बारे में जो लिखा था उस तरह से लिख सकता हूँ क्या?
बिल्कुल
अपने
आप ठीक लिखा था, अच्छा लिखा है वो कंपोजिशन को लेके, बट थोड़ा सा और फोटोग्राफी का कंपोजिशन और थोड़ा पढ़ोगे ना, तो मैं आपको एक स्लाइड भेजूंगा आज जो है सब लोगों को, डायरेक्शन
हाँ
के लोगों को, वो
हाँ
सिनेमेटोग्राफी वालों के लिए था। मैं आपको वीडियो लेक्चर भी भेजूंगा तो आपको और थोड़ा उसमें पकड़ा है। ठीक है,
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू सर।
चलिए
Okay, how do I
बाय।
sign out? Yeah. Okay, chalo, Naresh, bye bye. Yeah.
Just mark this polling thing. आप सब लोग भी जो है तैयारी रखिए, क्योंकि वहां पर जो है वही आदमी का पेंटिंग आएगा जो तुमने पढ़ा नहीं होगा, ध्यान रखना। और ये बहुत 15-20 लोग नहीं है, कुल मिला के 5 से 6 लोग हैं, जिसमें सल्वाडोर डाली है, चिरिको है, फरीदा कालो है, रेने मार्गरेट ऑलरेडी आ चुका है, मैक्स अर्नेस्ट है। तो ये 6-7 लोग हैं मेन जो लोग हैं, छोटे मोटे तो और भी लोग हैं, बट मेन लोग 6-7।